from the savannah to the Midland and the Atlantic, Ambazonia has risen to fall no more. Ambazonia rise.
Dear Ambazonians on the home front and diaspora.
Dear Ambazonia freedom fighters in the home front and in the diaspora.
The Ethics Commission of the Federal Republic of Ambazonia is coming out to alert you that it is becoming more and more evident that the former British Southern Cameroons, aka Ambazonians, will soon emerge as the newest nation in the world.
We are calling on all of us to start preparing to receive Ambazonia as parents prepare to receive their firstborn child. Malcolm X said, tomorrow belongs to those who prepare for it today. We are already very educated, talented, and very rich in natural resources. Do all this guarantee a safe and prosperous Ambazonia? The answer is an emphatic no. Theodore Roosevelt said, to educate a person in the mind but not in morals is to educate a menace in society.
Ambazonians, it is time to start planning to restore our cultural and social values that characterize us as a people of good repute. Before our Republic to Cameroon invasion, we were respectful of each other, of the law, and of our culture. We earned our living through honest hard work, making clean money for ourselves.
Our values helped us to maximize the benefits of our natural resources as well as our human resources. Southern Cameroons were serene and clean, simply beautiful in spirit and in the physical. We all long for such a place to call home, and we can make it happen by God's grace.
Our local government areas and counties, are you prepared? Do you have an ethics commission in your local government areas, counties to serve as a moral compass for you? Do you have a copy of the Ambazonia Ethics Code and the Constitution?
All arms of government, do you have an ethics agency? Departments of DSS, HSS, Communications and IT, Education, DHACM, DFA and DEINR. Do you have ethics agency to serve as a moral compass for your departments?
Ambazonians, you need to know your rights by reading the Ethics Code and the Constitution.
Shame unethical behavior and reward good behavior in your communities. Hold leaders accountable. Be the watchdog of your communities and governments. See something, say something.
The church, you are the main research center of moral principles with the responsibility of moralizing the society. How effective are you outside the church building?
Maya Angelou said, when you know better, then you do better. Ambazonians, watch Ethics for an Emerging Ambazonia every Friday at 10 p.m. Amba time.
Exclusively on ABC Amba TV. Stay tuned.
The media greatly influences society. They inform people about what is happening. It permeates people's lives by creating their own criteria and opinions. In this way, the media moves the masses, creating different social movements.
For over 60 years, the people of Ambazonia were deprived of such privileges. The privilege to enhance their own criteria and opinion They have suffered cultural genocide for 6 long decades, but not in this age and not with Undaunted ABC Amba News on board.
You must understand that wars are fought and won in the media. The speed of the revolution on Ambazonia's quest for freedom cannot be explained without highlighting the diligent use of the media.
Franco-Cameroon colonizers, among other strategic moves, weaponized the media against Ambazonia for so long, and they continue to do so even today. The question would be, how much do the oppressed people of Ambazonia need to counter the media rage?
Indeed, how much more is required to stop the genocide? The carnage in Ambazonia didn't start today. In 1961, 1972, 1984, 1992, Ambazonians were slaughtered in huge numbers and help was not forthcoming. Why? Because the oppressor was the piper in the media.
The good news is we have what it takes to dictate the pace.
Right now, ABC Amba TV is taking advantage of the wonders of multimedia aggressively
to inform the misinformed and disinformed with Undaunted and other revolutionary programs bringing into the news untold stories.
Most importantly, to win the media war by taking ABC Amba TV into every multimedia platform.
In a word, where the importance of storytelling can never be overemphasized, Ambazonians has to tell her own story, not the other way round.
And like we say it always, Ambazonia must narrate her story accurately. We can do this together, you know, right? You are just a click away. Visit our website at www.abcambatv.com, and the steps are quite simple.
With just a click on the website, you can become a club member with so many benefits.
You can also make a one-time donation, advertise and showcase your goods and services at the marketplace on the website.
That was easy, right? You're welcome on board.
And thank you for opting for the winning team.
Now is the era of self-defense. From effective personal self-defense to legitimate Ambazonia community protection programs. To stop the wanton destruction of lives and our property in Ambazonia. We are therefore going to work to accredit and embrace all self-defense and security groups that will endorse our IG rules of engagement. I will be reaching out to all in the days ahead. I hereby wish to extend an olive branch to all movements and our able activists in this struggle to bring in their best contributions on my table, and let's serve our great country now together more than ever before. I will be giving all Ambazonians a direct hotline to send in their suggestions. We need to fund the struggle now. Our brothers and sisters on ground zero are paying for the war with their blood. We must sell our jewels and deny ourselves every comfort to pay for our freedom with our last might. Fellow Ambazonians, I have convened the National Security Advisory Council for the first time in the month of March. This convocation shall bring together all principal actors to strategize and build a suitable platform to organize and strengthen our community's resolve to defend the only place we call home and our millions of desperate lives on ground zero. Every inch of British Southern Cameroon shall be free. Be it known that we have secured the participation of all major self-defense groups. The interim government aims at providing leadership, not ownership, of our laudable self-defense initiatives. This joint platform will equally ensure good organization, coordination, and efficiency in this very vital domain of our struggle, self-defense. We will soon form a formidable joint defense unit with all major factions to confront the enemy as one man. In reply to their many genocidal assaults against our peace-loving people of Ambazonia, we have decided to match French Cameroon's terrorists pound for pound in record time. We can no longer sit and wait for our villages to be burnt down by Bia's barbaric army, or our youth killed or maimed at random by bloodthirsty and trigger-happy terrorist soldiers. We now need the best skills, the best brains, the best capabilities, and our best fight to get us all to Buea as soon as possible.
Welcome to Undaunted, bringing into the news untold stories. I am Star Smart. Let's begin. Colonial La Republic du Cameroon military caught on camera expressing their frustration having been abandoned and placed defenseless in the face of the determined Ambazonian restoration forces. Colonial military kills 9, no pity kills 9. That notwithstanding, Ambazonians are expressing divergent opinions towards the no pity successful attack against forces of occupation. The question would be, why? We intend to find that out. Latest reports reveal that the conflict in the Cameroons ranks third most neglected conflict in the world. Who is behind the international conspiracy against the peoples of Ambazonia? Do Ambazonian lives really matter? Could it be true that Ambazonia's destiny is left in her hands? What must Ambazonia do to stir the waters and to prick the community of nations for proactive measures to stop the carnage? In tonight's Undaunted, we will examine a new era of the US-China competition. The world is yet to factor out what the future has for Ukraine yet, suffering Russian invasion. But then, it would appear that China may have even deadlier plans. Secret Chinese naval base in Cambodia signals a new era of competition in the Asia-Pacific region, poses threats on US interest and world peace. And that's not all. The US and China are battling for influence in Latin America, and the pandemic has raised the stakes. In this world of wars, Ambazonians are drafting aggressively in hope to escalate their game, chase out the colonizers, and totally free their home front from the oppressors. Updates from the Director of Resource Mobilization, including the National Emergency Fund Drive pledges, gives a staggering total of $670,000 available to our counties. Before we get the details of that, let's get the prime headlines.
Crime headlines. A Chinese naval base in Cambodia signals a new era of competition in the Asia-Pacific region. Last night, following exchanges of gunshots in Manfei, LGA, the district hospital was set on fire by the Colonial La République du Cameroun military. Colonial La République du Cameroun military caught on camera expressing their frustration having been abandoned and placed defenseless in the face of Ambazonia restoration forces. Diplomat denies Amba attack on Nigerian territory. His Excellency Bapa Lawal made the statement in an exclusive interview with the Guardian Post newspaper recently. GCE candidates worried as Colonial MINSEC issues timetable conflicting with public exams. The genocide in Ambazonia has been ranked world's third most neglected crisis. Real Madrid to face Liverpool in the finals of the Champions League.
India, Akbar, hook throws. Hook throws. Jesus. I hear you.
Unity warrior, Boki Kunja. Now we can get, now we can when I see no base is big B base. When I was see all, would the king be and the bonus so they enter. Ask and find whether the place are bonus or who then there for day. Now be and they there, now be and they yard. See no, I say na me no. The fathers. The fact, and I'll continue protecting my civilian population. This is not physical. Need no pity. Today, at the time of the Almighty God, because I the only man I fear for the whole wide world. At the time of God Almighty. For this mission, we have to come out and pray for God. Tell me, make a God succeed with you. I want succeed. I want to do a match. Harvest all my team and come back. Leave no pity. I will walk accordingly. I will walk accordingly. No pity the day say, no pity that it begin. No pity. Don't offer a life for him. You don't surrender a life for him. I depress him.
A very good evening to you. Now, a new era of US-China competition. You thought the genocide onslaught in Ukraine and Ambazonians are bad enough. Wait until the commencement of China's manifesto. You would ask the question, where is the world heading to? In October 2020, satellite photos showed that the Cambodian government had demolished 2 American-built facilities at the Southeast Asian nation's Rem naval base, despite Washington's offering to renovate them. This is where we'll begin the dissection of stories in full with Undaunted tonight. I am Onyi Okbala and Star Smart is here. Good evening, Star Smart.
Good evening, Onyi. You know what, Onyi? This is a world of wars. The world is yet to factor out what the future has for Ukraine, yet suffering Russia's invasion. But then it would appear that China may have even deadlier plans. Fellow Ambazonians, ladies and gentlemen, once again, good evening. Today, June 9th, China is set to break ground on a People's Liberation Army (PLA) naval facility at the same base, according to reports first published in the Washington Post. It's a clear sign of Beijing's increasingly robust power projection in the Asia-Pacific as it seeks to counter a U.S. policy of containment. Chinese and Cambodian officials have denied that there will be a permanent PLA presence at RIM. But the Post says a Beijing official has confirmed that the Chinese military and Chinese scientists will use a portion of the base.
What are the possible reasons these partners are concealing details of this relationship? That's what we intend to find out tonight. China for years has been building fortifications on rocks and reefs in the disputed South China Sea, and in 2017 opened its only official overseas base in Djibouti, where the US, France, Japan and Italy also have their bases. Beijing has also opened a military outpost in Takishan near the border with Afghanistan and is reportedly building a port facility with possible military users in the United Arab Emirates. In April, a security deal between China and the Solomon Islands was leaked online and subsequently confirmed by Beijing, which allows China to send armed police and military personnel to the South Pacific nation in what some U.S. officials believe may be the precursor to a permanent military presence.
The establishment of a Chinese naval base in Cambodia would boost Beijing's aspirations of becoming a true global power with a network of military facilities around the world. That, combined with the Biden administration's vow to compete with China, risks heightened tensions in the region. Quote, "The big picture is that the region is becoming more militarized," says Professor Jonathan Sullivan, Director of China Programs at the Asia Research Institute of UK's Nottingham University. Not just through the US and China, but with others increasing defense spending in response, which increases risk given that the two major actors are in explicit competition and actively building alliances and capacity. China has long had designs on becoming the leading strategic power in the Asia-Pacific, but would struggle to challenge U.S. hegemony without overseas bases. According to a 2021 Pentagon report, China is seeking to establish more robust overseas logistics and basing infrastructure to support naval, air, ground, cyber, and space power projection. Other than Cambodia, it has likely considered a number of countries, including Thailand, Singapore, Indonesia, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, and Tanzania.
In practical terms, a Cambodia base will allow China to deploy its warships and coastal guard vessels at short notice around the region, rather than sail them over long distances during which their movements can be traced and tracked and countered. In addition, logistics and intelligence monitoring would be enhanced by easier access to Southeast Asian sea lanes like the vital Straits of Malacca. Southeast Asia has been backsliding democratically following military coup in Thailand in 2014 and Myanmar last year, and the astonishing political rehabilitation of the notorious Marcos family in the Philippines. But Cambodia is the Asian nation seen as closest to Beijing, which has for a long time courted Prime Minister Hussein with billions of dollars in marquee infrastructure loans and developmental projects, which has involved close cronies. In 2017, the U.S. ambassador to Cambodia, William Hidit, said that the Cambodian government was not interested in a positive relationship with the U.S.
China's footprint in Cambodia has only grown since Cambodia has repeatedly been the sole ASEAN member to scupper joint communiques on the disputed South China Sea, even sharing drafts on them with Chinese officials, according to some reports. It remains to be seen how other ASEAN states will react to the Ream naval base news. A China worry Vietnam and a new administration in the Philippines could react in unpredictable ways. However, says Sullivan, quote, if the reaction is minor, it may suggest other possibilities for China, which is increasingly motivated to secure these kinds of cooperation. With all of this, you sure would want to know how the US and allies are pushing back.
Now, Canberra is playing a key role in Washington's containment strategy. Already, Australia's new Prime Minister Anthony Albanese has called on Beijing to be open about its intentions in Cambodia. We have been aware of Beijing's activities as Ream for some time. Albanese told reporters during a visit to Indonesia on Tuesday. We encourage Beijing to be transparent about its intent and to ensure that its activity supports regional security and stability. In late May, Foreign Minister Wang Yu completed a tour of the South Pacific with the aim of sealing a pact on security and development between China and 10 island nations. China's proposal was shelved at a meeting in Fiji by nations wary of being caught between Washington and Beijing, but several bilateral deals were signed. Not to be done, Australia has dispatched its own foreign minister, the newly appointed Penny Wong, to the South Pacific last week to show up support in what it has traditionally assumed to be its sphere of influence. China has made its intentions clear, but so too are the intentions of the new Australian government, Wosang said in a statement.
China, meanwhile, raised concerns at the International Atomic Energy Agency Board of Governors meeting on Monday over the AUKUS Trilateral Security Agreement, which will see the US and UK give Australia help to build nuclear submarines. Well, you think this is all? The US and China are battling for influence in Latin America, and the pandemic has raised the stakes. Gabellison has details of this coverage.
In April 2020, as COVID-19 began to tear through Latin America, the leftist bloc in the Paraguayan Senate introduced a bill to open relations with Beijing, which would inevitably mean ending recognition of Taiwan. The senators argued that the pandemic would make Chinese support in the form of masks and ventilators, but also investment, trade, and possibly a vaccine, crucial in the coming years. In the end, the proposal was voted down 25-16 in a Senate still controlled by the right-wing party Stroessner founded. Still, opposition lawmakers have forged ahead in deepening their institutional ties with China, eliciting what they described as the first ever Chinese humanitarian aid to Paraguay in June, and vowing to recognize the country if the balance of power in Congress shifts. The political debate in Paraguay reflects a broader battle raging across Latin America as countries in the region grapple with a cascade of challenges to their developing economies. They increasingly look not to the north but to the east. Today, China is South America's top trading partner. In 2019, Chinese companies invested $12.8 billion in Latin America, up to 16.5% from 2018, concentrating on regional infrastructure such